Hi, my name is Greg Keene. I want to welcome you to Toasted Soul. Toasted Soul is a podcast hosted by me, Greg Keene. Toasted Soul will be exploring technology news, business news, and just general rants on life. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Toasted Soul. Hope you guys had a good week. Today I have with me Patricia Mcpherson. I've known Patricia for quite a long time. She used to be friends with one of my friends. Patricia, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am, it's so interesting. I am a model. I'm an actor. I'm an educator. I'm a yoga instructor, meditation guide, sleep therapist, sleep influencer. And that's me.
Awesome. So, how's things been with you? I mean, like with all the COVID and all this craziness, like a new world kind of changing over kind of thing.
I know. It's been okay. I mean, I think I'm fortunate. I'm one of the fortunate people who I have a healthy relationship with nothingness. And I think that comes from a lot of meditation and a lot of stillness. So I think I'm fortunate that way, that I've really created a relationship with myself, and with that comes nothingness. And I think that's really helped, being able to, I know a lot of people are struggling with not having much to do. We live in a culture where we're constantly doing something, constantly, feeling like you have to be somewhere, you have to make a phone call, you have to, so I think it can be really hard for folks. But And don't get me wrong, it's not super easy for me all the time either, but I think I just have an awareness around what's happening and maybe an understanding as to what's not necessarily needed from me, but maybe what, just where I need to be, where my energy needs to be with what's going on. So I think I've just kind of created or developed a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I totally understand that. There are a lot of people that are struggling right now with the loneliness and just being in so much. I know a lot of people I've talked to, they are going through quite a bit. For me, this is my lifestyle, right? So I'm always in anyways, like, maybe even if I'm my last job, I had to go into an office and things like that. But after work, I was just at home working on a computer. It's like, I'm just a homebody kind of thing. But for those people that are like real socialites, or even if they didn't think they were socialites before but got out a lot, this is a struggling time for them. This is a hard time. So it's like when you hear people like check on so-and-so, it is a good idea to check on your friends, like especially those friends that are bubbly and stuff like that. Those are the ones I think are going through the hardest time, because they're used to being out and about with their friends and whoever and just, having company. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think in a lot of ways this time could be looked at as an opportunity to, maybe build a stronger relationship with yourself, and really get to know yourself without the distraction of life and the world and things.
Right.
So I think that's what I've kind of been trying to encourage people,
So I guess with the kind of services that you offer, that would be a great thing. Like I meditate. I'm not good at it, so I would say I'm practicing.
What does that even mean? What does that mean?
I don't feel like I get deep. Like I've been deep, right? I've been to like really deep places when I meditate, but for the most of the times, like 90+% of the times, it just feels like I'm at the surface of the meditation. I can't sink below the wave of turbulence, right? So I would say I'm practicing meditation, but in practice you get better, right? And I think like I said, the services that you offer with the meditation and all that kind of stuff, and especially sleep is so important. But the meditation, I think a lot of people need to know how to quiet and learn how beautiful quietness is with and coming within yourself, right? Where we live in a world where it's like we're just always out there and always going, and that we feel like that's life. I definitely don't believe that's life. I think life is sitting under a tree and just listening to God. You know what I mean?
Me too.
I think
Me
I think
too.
I think all of our listeners need to like reach out to someone like you and sit down with someone like you, either virtually or when we get back to the real, well, the new real or the new normal. Sit down with someone like you and learn about themselves. That's what really meditation is. Because for me, I've been trying to meditate for years and years and years, and it wasn't until I went through a relationship thing a few years ago. I sat down and I tell people, I'm like, right then, meditation saved my life. I was in a space that was just dark, and
Yeah.
meditation brought me to a space that was like just filled with light, filled with God.
Good.
So I always try to I evangelize, like, hey, how you feel? Oh, you feel down? Have you tried meditation? You know what I mean? Like I'm always, because I know the power in it.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
how did you find meditation?
Um, I I got into 3 car accidents in 4 years in a few years back, and I was just doing a regular job, in the office job stuff, and I was actually not a yoga person at all. I was like a Tony Horton P90X person. I used
Right.
to work hard and thinking that I had to work hard and fast, you know?
Yeah.
So after those accidents, a girlfriend of mine brought me to yoga, and I don't know what I liked about it, but I knew that I liked it.
Right.
So I just kept going. And through that practice, it introduced me to meditation. And the more, even 8 years later, now I'm just more so teaching meditation and encouraging sleep and kind of moving away from the asana, from the yoga physical practice. And only because I just find, there's a lot of embodiment that comes with the physical practice where you think you have to be aiming, to be like your teacher or to be like the person in front of you in the front row that's in the mirror doing the perfect tree pose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can really take away from you and not put enough energy, I guess, or focused energy, because it's still a bit of an outward practice.
Because
But
you
I
think you're the
find,
teacher.
yeah, you're not
And you
really,
have the idea. You have this idea of what meditation is supposed to be.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like now I really appreciate teaching meditation because you come in and you close your eyes,
Right.
and there's no external influence or any external source that you feel like you need to try to measure up to or you need to try to attain. So
Right.
it's nice to teach meditation because it teaches people courage,
Yeah.
to
You
get,
find yourself in there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Like
But people, you have to be okay with liking your dislikes, and that's a big part of meditation. There's a lot of light, but there's also
yeah.
a lot of dark that you got to shed some light on too.
Yeah. You can only get to the light by going through the dark. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's what it comes down to. Um, yeah, I think it's what's his name? Goggins. I think he's famous for saying you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable,
That's right.
right?
And you
So
have to.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does sleep? Like I was just looking something up. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just couldn't remember the guy's name. But
That's
how
okay.
like I just wanted to get into like the sleep part because a lot of people take for granted the power of sleep. I know I do definitely. It's just within the last few years I'm trying to get better quality sleep, right?
Hmm.
Because I started to understand how it both affects me physiologically and psychologically. So I've
Right.
been working on that sleep thing. And from coming from someone that used to, be up until 3 o'clock in the morning and then get up at 6 o'clock and then just go running, go training, and then go, and doing that cycle. And it wasn't bothering me or it didn't feel like it was bothering me. But
Hmm.
as you get older, as we all get older, that's when I think you start to see the cumulative damage that you've done and you have
Correct.
to repair that. So, in your practice, like what could you say about sleep? Like what are some things you think are, or what do you have to speak on with the sleep? That's what we'll go with there.
I think where sleep is concerned, I think we go to bed with a lot of tension. We go to bed with muscular tension, mental tension, emotional tension, and that's really based on life experience and what your day was like, what your week was like, what your month was like. That'll really determine what your sleep is like. But I think what happens is, with a lack of meditation and with a lack of self-inquiry, we're going to bed completely full with stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's why sometimes you can go to bed and wake up the next day and still feel sluggish, still feel tired, still feel like you didn't rest at all, And it's because the tension that you're carrying, you haven't dissipated it. You haven't released it. So you're going to bed basically tight. You know what I'm saying? So I try to encourage, there's a practice that I teach a lot called Yoga Nidra, and it really means yogic sleep, but it gives you an opportunity to experience relaxation in a conscious way, in an awake way, because relaxation is an activity at the end of the day. It's an activity. You're doing something. You're relaxing, right? But in the external world, when in your waking life, you're not really relaxing because you're attached, the TV's on, or you're looking at your phone, or, you know what I mean? There's still some external influence that's taking away from the relaxation.
Right.
Whereas with this practice, Yoga Nidra, which you can do on your own, it just gives you an opportunity to, yogis believe that in order to experience relaxation, you have to witness it.
Okay.
And Yoga Nidra teaches you to sleep consciously so that you can consciously witness your body resting and you can feel and experience that release of tension. So I would say
lucid awakeness or something. Is that what that is?
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah, like when you're able to wake yourself in your dream and realize that you're dreaming.
Yes, that's different.
Okay.
But this practice, because of concentration and a heightened sense of awareness, can definitely trigger lucid dreaming.
Okay.
Because think about it, if you're consciously awake while you're sleeping, that consciousness is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's stimulated, it's awake, it's alert. So your body may go into the dream state, but your consciousness is still awake and alert. Right? Yeah. That can only come from practice of staying awake while you're sleeping. So what I suggest to people, I know it's a lot to just kind of comprehend, to really get it, you know, because we're conditioned to believe that when you're sleeping, we're out. You know what I mean? There's no conscious energy at all besides your dreams, you know? But, 1 hour of this practice is equivalent to 4 hours of deep sleep.
Wow.
1 hour.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I really want to encourage this practice with people. And really, it's just a practice of trying to keep yourself awake during the alpha state. Okay. So the alpha state at the beginning, when we first lie down in bed and we start drifting, you're falling asleep, but then you're awake, and then you fall asleep, and then you're awake. And then maybe you catch yourself where you're sleeping, but you're awake, right? Okay, yeah. So we're trying to extend that period. Okay. So that you're awake throughout all of it.
Oh, okay. So extend that period into like the REM cycle?
Yes. But the body goes into the REM cycle, but not your consciousness. Oh, okay. Consciousness is awake. Oh, okay. It's trippy. Yeah. But it's trippy. But what was I going to say to you? It can really offer you, like, when we go to bed at night, we only spend 3 to 7 minutes in the alpha state. So we get to bed, we start to relax, you start to feel drowsy, and then before you know it, you're out. Mm-hmm. Yoga Nidra encourages us to stay in that alpha state for almost an hour. Oh, okay. And that's so imagine the 4 hours payback. It's a recharge. Yes. Wow. It's a recharge because your senses go dormant. Yeah. Your body, energy, your immune system, your central nervous system, it goes into sleep mode. Okay. But through practice and through certain cues from your guide can keep your consciousness awake. So you can actually get to a point, like for myself, I practiced this for a long time, but I would hear myself snoring. And
I don't
I was wide awake.
or crazy.
But I was wide awake, consciously
Wow.
awake.
That'd be an
But
interesting experience.
it's a very interesting experience.
So,
But it recharges the body, and it
mhm,
helps you to release that tension,
right.
you know?
I think I have like a lot of tension in my neck. I constantly waking up with headaches, like tension headaches. So I think something like this would, and I'm always like, well, not always, but I'm like taking muscle relaxers a lot of times to make it through the
Hmm.
day, which is
Yeah,
not where I want to be. I mean, like I
yeah.
smoke weed, but the pills actually hit me sometimes a little better. Um,
Hmm.
But yeah, I think this is that kind of practice would be interesting to experience, and then the benefits are definitely something I'd want. How, like, if someone was interested in this kind of service or your services, how can they reach out to you if you want to just put a plug really quick?
Oh, sure. Thank you. On my Instagram page right now, live. I've been offering a live yoga nidra session on Thursday nights at 8:30, and I've been
Mhm.
offering it for free or pay what you can, and it's for an hour, and it's a traditional practice. And there aren't a lot of studios in Toronto. I mean, now's not a good time, but there's not a lot of places in Toronto that are offering this traditional practice. You may find teachers offering it, but not necessarily studios. So if you go on my page, Patricia Patty Pat, you can join us live on a Thursday night at 8:30, but I also put them on my IGTV. So you could try them at any time, just kind
Awesome.
of put it on before bed and see how it goes.
Cool, cool. And I'm definitely going to take it. I wanted to come out that time, but all
Yes,
this COVID
yes.
stuff has changed us. And yeah, and speaking of COVID, what's your take on COVID? Like, there's so many conspiracy theories. I mean, like, I personally believe it's a real thing, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
I look at it on the analytical kind of mindset, and I look at the research that's out there, and I don't really listen too much to what the craziness stuff about Bill Gates and all this kind of stuff. But what's your take on COVID, like, without any
I
bias?
think I think there's something going on. I mean,
Yeah.
people are dying at the end of the day,
Right.
right? We can't deny that,
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, man. I think what bothers me about it is the idea of us being separate from each other, you
It's
know?
weird, right? Like, humans,
Yeah,
we're so used to a community, and that's how we are where we are today. And now it's like we're separated. Like, even as a
yeah,
homebody, I feel that separation. You know what I mean? And it's
exactly.
weird. So it's like it just shows like we are just wired to be around each other in community, and like physically be around each other, not just like like how we're doing it right now. There's a different energy when I'm like right next to Patricia. There's a different energy. There's like the
Absolutely.
right, yeah. So it's weird that I mean, like, you can see it, you can look at it almost like some kind of conspiracy things. Like, they want to separate us, man. You know what I mean? But who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And
go.
I just kind of feel like I was with my mom last week, but this week I can't go be with my mom.
Hmm. Right,
Like that stuff is a problem to me. This is my mother.
right.
Like, what do you mean I can't go to my mom's house or hug my mom and then now she's all like from the doorway with the mask on, like, "Hi Pat," It's like,
Yeah,
"Mom, it's okay. Like, nothing's gonna happen to us." You know what I mean?
yeah.
I was just with you last week. And
Oh,
then I guess, it's also just common sense. To me, it's like, okay, this started in March. If you haven't been sick since March, or the people you hang around haven't been sick, then
yeah,
to me, you don't have it.
yeah. You don't have it
So
for
then
sure.
why can't I be around you?
Yeah, I think the government approached this so horribly. Like, I'm surprised at how ill-equipped they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they know about the Spanish flu. They know about all these diseases that have pandemics that have like ravaged the world. And now we're in a modern society with more people, that we're flying by jet plane. Takes us 4 hours across the ocean, kind of thing. Like, we're there. So it's
Yeah,
like, if they should know, if something pops off, we have to be ready because it would spread so quickly.
that's
And
right.
I mean, like, I live in Canada and I love Canada. I'm born in
Me
Jamaica, but
too.
I love Canada. It's my country. And I
Hmm.
was totally under the belief Canada's got it. You know what I mean? I'm paying my taxes. If some shit goes down, Canada's got it. And
Right.
I am surprised that nobody's ready for this. Like, you know what I mean?
Nobody.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. But I was watching a video of this guy complaining, this white guy like berating these Asian people for speaking Chinese, and he's like, "This is where it all comes from," blah blah. Some, just typical crap, typical racism. And I'm like, no one hates Chinese people. I think, like, for me, I don't hate Chinese people. I hate the Chinese government's the way they treat, or the way they act. You know what I mean? Because, like, dude, I heard that these guys knew since like October. The Chinese government. I'm like, you have a responsibility. We're literally in a biosphere. We can't leave, right? So it's like, everybody, hey guys, this thing just came up. We don't know what it is. Don't wait months where people are gonna all die. It's like, what is the problem? Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. Bothers me. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? They don't care. That's what it feels.
Prevention is cure. Prevention is cure, and they should have did something a long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I hope we get back to things sooner than later, because I see people suffering. Like, I called my friend as soon as I got back into the city because I know she's having a hard time, and for me, I'm, like I said, I'm good like this for the rest of my life. But the people that are not, that's what I just need them to be okay. I need the system to get back to normal. So it's like, you're not worrying about these people, like they're, get back to their, whatever it is, social butterflying, whatever, right?
Yeah, it's dulling. It's dulling on the spirit, it is.
Yeah.
It's dulling.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I mean, like, even if I can feel it, like, as someone that stays home all the time, it must be bad for them, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure our scientists will figure something out. But I was thinking, have you heard of CRISPR-Cas9?
No.
It's gene editing, right? Some new age gene editing. And I'm like, why are they not like looking at this as like a really good way to do it? Because the stuff I learned from it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. It can like recode the DNA in a virus. Like, they can actually send something in to recode it. I'm like, why not do like a ton of research on this? But the problem is, it comes in with genetic engineering. It's like, now you can order your baby. It's like, oh, I want a 6'5" baby with blonde hair, blue eyes. That would be a problem, right? So I think that's why the research is so slow on it. But it seems like a miracle fix for some of our problems.
Well, and it's like, like you guys, like you said, you guys can get across the ocean in 4 hours. So help humanity with all of these incredible inventions and innovations.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Do
something.
Get it right, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you been out marching with any Black Lives Matter stuff? No,
No.
Like, I mean, like, I know I put the support there, but I don't march. That's not my thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really grateful for everyone who protests and march. I think it's a beautiful sign of unification and equality. I think that's very beautiful. And I think the people who have the courage to do it and the passion, I think it's lovely. But I can honestly say, at this point of our lives in the world, Black people need to chill out, man. Let everybody else fight this fight. Like, why are we fighting this fight? It's not up to us to fix this. It's not. It's everybody else, frankly. How powerful would it have been if those protests, there were no Black people there?
That'd been amazing.
Right?
But what's amazing is that there still are, like, the mix is there, right? And that is what our planet is.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if it's wrong to say, but I don't think anything's going to change.
I know. And it starts with the person. It really comes down to the individual at this point.
Yeah, it does.
Of life and karma and energy. And it's at this point where it's one person at a time. Yeah. One person. Yeah. If we're expecting some major big change systemically, and we're going to base it on, you got to vote. I mean, thank God. Well, this is going to sound bad, but I'm grateful to be Canadian. If I could help, I would in regards to the voting and the systemic stuff. But the people have to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the people. And do we trust that? I saw the other day, like, I don't need to bring up stuff online, but a woman like going to vote, and this was just a few years ago, and they were charging black people to vote.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Charging.
Yeah.
So how are we supposed to make a change?
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that it's like, so in a lot of ways I do agree with you. Some things won't change.
Right.
But we as people, we have to change just amongst each other. Have to.
Yeah. Because it's like the infighting and all the racism, I think it's coming from the top. It's like they want this to continue because as long as you have, I always mention Johnson, President Johnson from years and years ago, that he wrote something along the lines of like, if we can show the lowliest white man that he's better than the highest black man, we'll be able to take the money right out of their pocket. They might just give it to us, kind of thing, right? It's a distraction thing, and it's always been a distraction thing, right? So it's unfortunate. But you're right. Back on the point where it's like, why are we fighting for it? But what I don't like is that we always do fight for it, right? As very visible minority, we always fight for it, and then when we win, everybody gets it. Right? So civil rights, we fight for it, we die for it, our blood is spilled for it, our sweat is spilled for it, and everybody just watches, and then we get what we want, what we're fighting for, and then everybody benefits. But in a lot of times in the fight, no one else comes in and says, hey, yeah, let's help the black people. And I feel like this is the closest that we've had, because you can see it's worldwide. So communities around the world, all different peoples are saying, hey,
enough is enough. That's right.
And that's we kind of have to be grateful for COVID, because literally people at home have nothing to do, right? And they have, there's a fight.
We're seeing everything. Yes.
Yeah. And seeing everything. I think that's another thing, is like literally watching the life drain out of that man. Really,
I didn't watch it.
A lot of people. I watched it and I was breaking it down, because you could watch he's talking and he's like, so he's talking and he's like, hey, get off my, please, hey, what do I do, blah, whatever he's saying. But he's verbally, you can understand him, and you can watch the language
withering
away and breathing. And then you see water running from under the truck. And I'm like, where would the water come from? And this is how my mind thinks. And I'm like, maybe the truck had the air conditioner on, but the water would be running out from the engine part. And I was figuring, it was he urinated on himself. So I'm like, if the guy's talking well at the beginning, then his speech starts to reduce, and like he's not responsive. He's breathing heavy. He's foaming at the mouth, and he urinated on himself. There are 3 men there that are professionals that are on him, and another 4th one playing whatever he's doing. How do you not see these as warning signs? It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. I don't think anything's going to change, or what, like you said, it's not going to be a systemic change, might be a little change. As long as we get, I guess, something for that life, because it was horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I saw maybe the first few seconds, and I just couldn't do it, man.
Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's really, really sad. And I think what you're saying, everybody's home now, thank God for COVID. So you have if you have something to say, you're ignorant. It's just that simple. Yeah. You're either racist or you're an ignorant, because it's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
There's nothing to justify here.
Yeah.
And I still hear people saying, well, you guys need to obey cops.
Right.
What are you talking about, man?
Right.
And even if that's the case, like, we should die because we didn't obey the cops, so that means we die.
Right.
Like,
they don't. They what? People have been programmed for so long that black people are so bad. You know what I mean? So even in the cops' mind, we're bad and we're like powerful, and that's funny. Like, I don't want to get into that part of like them thinking that our power or knowing our power, because power is so many things, of like whether it's muscle power or like mental power or just the power of being. But anyways, they've been programmed for so long that we're so dangerous. Like, of course, a white cop's going to see us as like Superman. It's a big threat. But for the people that are sitting on the sidelines saying, you guys just should listen. Trust me, I don't like. I sit when I get stopped by a cop, I am like a good boy. But then when they start asking me dumb questions or cross-examining I'm like, I'll answer back. Like, you're treating me like an idiot. I didn't do anything. because I've never done anything. You just pulled me over for whatever reason. So I'm going to talk back to you. And plus I'm Canadian. I'm not, so I looked at it. It's like, I'm Canadian. You're not going to do nothing to me. But it's dangerous. And it's like, I've just realized it's really like what I used to do, although I didn't get shot. I realized that's what people do and get shot with the wrong cop. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I've had cops put their hands on their guns and I'm like, are you going to shoot me? Not like I shouldn't do that, but that's, I'm like, you're threatening me and you're trying to provoke me. And I tell them that, but I guess I should keep my mouth shut because I could have had the wrong cop all those times I'm talking off. But yeah, the people that are saying that we should just answer their questions. It's like your experience, or if you even have an experience, most Black people have an experience. Most white people don't. They just see what's on TV and that's what they believe. That's not the truth. That's not what's happening, right? It's like, your guard dogs are biting people and you're just saying he's the perfect little puppy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. That's such a good way of putting it. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's, I'm grateful for technology. I've been in tech for a long time. Grateful for technology because it's like Will Smith said, it's being filmed. That's what the difference is, right? So yeah, it's
a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do as a community, as Black people. We got a lot of work to do. And it starts with our minds. We need to get our minds right. We really, really do. And just start unlearning what we've been conditioned by.
Right.
Just as the whites need to unlearn certain things and other nations need to unlearn, so do we as a community.
Right. Because you can't live in a society and not take on the negativity that they put on you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like, if they tell you that you're this, like for me, I was talking to someone a few days ago and I remember it's like, yeah, I remember history class and they were saying like Africa was just sand, right? I thought that was real. Like, how am I going to know? Like I'm sitting in a professional place and they're telling me this is what's true. I'm going to absorb it as a kid. I'm like, okay, that's true. And then you grow up and you learn, it's like, oh, Black people did. Oh, wait, that's us. And it's like when you realize that's when you realize the word his story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when you realize it's his story. And then you think about it, you think about the things you read, the conqueror gets to write the history books. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Crazy world. Right. Crazy world.
And our history is so beautiful.
Right.
Our history is so beautiful.
How
dare they take that from us? Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, too, for us, it's like, guys, man, everything is out there for us. Research. Get to know where you come from. Know where you come from. Know where your roots are. Know what was ours. Know what we did.
Yeah. And it's willful ignorance if you don't, because the internet is completely free. The libraries are completely free. And you can find Black books, you can find Black authors, and you just learn your history. But it's not just for Black people to learn our history. It's also everyone else has to learn our history because they're believed what someone has written about Black people, not what Black people have written about Black people. You understand?
That's right.
So if you keep reading a book that is written by an oppressive culture about another culture, of course it's going to, like the victor, he's not going to write anything bad about himself. It's just, hey, we showed up in Iraq and they were like killing each other. So we decided to kill all the bad ones and then take their gas because they were spoiling. You know what I mean? Like something crazy. They just make up a story. Yeah. But well, tell me, can I speak to one of the Iraqi guys? What did you do to them? Nothing. We're good. You know what I mean? Like that's unfortunate, but that's how the world is. That's how it's set up. It's like it's ridiculous.
I know.
I mean, I think we'll overcome, and I think this movement, these protests, are a sign of how, and a sign of things to come, or also educating more people on what's going on, what's really going on. Like the veil is kind of parted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we're on our way.
Yeah. So. Still there?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Actually,
I'm just going to put on my do not disturb here. There we go.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Something I ask everyone. It's so what makes you successful? You're a businesswoman. What makes you successful, or what would you identify as what success is? Maybe not even about you, but just generally.
I think for me, and I think it took me a while to learn this because I think we've all learned different ideas of success and what it looks like. And I think for me, I learned through yoga and taking this on as a business. I'm getting up every day doing what I love and being self-sustainable. You
Right.
know, to me, that's success.
Yeah.
You know, especially, I know what it is to go work for other people. And you make great money sometimes,
Right.
but there can still be an emptiness, there can still be an uneasiness there, or dissatisfaction then.
Yeah.
Whereas now I find, may not have been making as much money as I was in the government, but there's a value there, the reward of peace of mind, the reward of feeling good about myself, the
Yeah.
reward of knowing that I'm creating every day, that I'm connecting with people, that I'm serving and helping people. It
Right.
makes me feel really good. I used to think I needed to be famous, or I need to maybe, the acting and the modeling was going to create this successful whatever, but to think that this, probably the simplest things I do,
Yeah.
what's second nature to me, that, if I've made a success out of that or sustainability out of that, then I'm happy.
Right.
I'm good,
And that is really what it is. Is like, if you find something you love and you share it, it's going to give so much more than working in an office can give you, than a paycheck can give you. You know what I mean? And I
Yep.
think the best times is when I help people with their tech and they figured it out. It's like, yeah, that is a good time.
And
So,
just lastly, Viola Davis says, I love Viola Davis, she always has the best quotes,
right.
but she says, when you're doing what you love, the world gives you awards and God gives you rewards. And
Wow.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, the reward is what you feel,
Mhm.
what you give, and all that stuff is priceless and invaluable,
Right.
intangible.
Yeah. So what's your, we live in a technological world. What's your everyday carry technology? What tech, like if I saw you on the street right now, what can I guarantee you have on you that's tech?
A phone.
Your phone? Just your phone?
Yeah.
You're not like teched out, no watches, nothing? No?
No.
What kind of phone do you carry?
A
Android or
Samsung.
the Samsung? How
Yes.
long have you been carrying a Samsung?
Maybe 3 years.
Was that iPhone before that?
I had an LG before that, and then an
Oh,
iPhone before that.
okay, yeah. So you like Android phones over the iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
It's flexible. Flexible.
Right, right. I tell people that, and they're like, It's like you don't know until you try, I guess. But
Open
so,
your mind.
huh?
Open your mind.
Right. So the next question is, what can you tell? I guess it's in line with the what makes you successful, but what would you tell young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs on a whole? What kind of advice could you give them as a someone coming from an office and then doing your own thing now?
I think, it took me a really long time, I won't lie, Greg, to really figure this out. There was like a good 2-year period where I had no idea what I was doing with my life,
But at least you figured it out. That's what's key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you have to hit rock bottom. You got to
Yeah.
get to the bottom to get, you got to hit rock bottom to get up to the top. You know what I mean? And
I keep hearing that.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like I felt helpless,
Yeah.
and just not knowing, especially too if you're a creative person or you're used to working all the time, you're a productive person, I'm ambitious, I take initiative,
Yeah.
but then it's like there was nothing. And I mean, I'm more so talking about when I was in the car accident stuff. So,
Yeah.
that can really take over your life, and you don't go back to work because you're injured and then they're following you and then you don't get no claim. And it's a whole bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
So it took me a while to really figure out who I am and what I like, what's important. So I think for me, I just had to question, what brings me the most consistent joy in my life?
Right.
What would I do for free?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say too, when you're an entrepreneur, at least for me, it was a really big act of karma. I had to offer things. I had to pay my dues by offering things for free.
Yeah.
For people to trust me, to say, okay, I'll pay her. Or, okay, I'll spend a half an hour with her. Okay, I'll go to her class. You know, you gotta kind of give yourself. And sometimes I find entrepreneurs jump in and start saying, you know, this is gonna cost, this sweater is $120. Good
Right.
luck, bud. Right? You know, I get it's custom, I guess there's time, I get all that, but you gotta give.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you
in
gotta
giving
give
you
it.
get, right? That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. It's in giving that's when you will start to receive, but you have to put something out there in the universe, and the universe has it waiting for you. I tell a friend of mine, I'm like, God has it on the shelf and only you can get it. And he's going to leave it there until you're ready to get it. So you get out there and you learn, you give, and then you'll be able to receive.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as well for entrepreneurs, you just gotta kind of know when you've given enough for free.
Timing.
Right?
Timing. Right.
You know, you gotta really pay attention.
Mhm.
Or you'll be outdoing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause a lot of
And there
people
has
just
to be
keep
a
taking.
value. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just keep taking it and not give back, and so it's incumbent on you to basically check yourself, like watch, like keep giving, but just watch, because I mean, like we live in a world where we have to eat, and that requires $1. So you know, at some point you got to take
Exactly.
$1, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. So what's going on with Patricia in the future? Like, where do you see like you like with your the
The
meditation
yoga,
and
sleep,
the
meditation
yoga,
stuff.
right?
I'm working on now certifying teachers
Mhm.
and creating courses to certify teachers, and more so in the yoga nidra stuff, the more specialty niche type practices. And I'd really like to start a little tantric school. I'm kind of working towards that.
You're in
Just
Toronto?
yeah, like you know,
Awesome.
like more techniques that are more science, the science of yoga. You know, that's what tantra really is, the science
Mhm.
of the practice. And that's what I would like to do. Because when I was teaching, or when I wanted to teach yoga nidra and I wanted to be certified, there was no one to certify me.
Yeah.
So I had to certify myself. And
Cool.
that was through practice. You know, I had
Yeah.
to practice like hardcore, consecutively, every day, disciplined. And now I just want to offer that back to people, especially teachers, you know, because we
Okay.
don't really get that focused part of that technique. It's not really focused and, you know, concentrated. So I really want to offer that. And I just want to be a sought after teacher, Greg. I want
Mhm.
people, I want to travel, and I want to be able to work. That was a good thing about COVID is I transitioned online.
Yeah.
You know, I was really nervous too, but it's really helped, and it's made me realize, oh, it's made me dream a little bit here. You know, I can do this from Jamaica. We have a family home in Jamaica. Why can't I go there for a month and teach online and still make my living? You know, so it's
That'd
kind
be
of
awesome.
expanded me. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of working in that direction.
Awesome. So is it like if someone else wanted to become the same kind of practitioner as yourself, they could just get some information from you from your website? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, my website right now just has mostly guided meditations. It's really just based on meditation. If
But they
you're
can reach
beginning to,
out through your Instagram, reach out to you
yes,
directly through Instagram and stuff like that. And
yes,
I'll post all
anything.
that like once we get this up. Well, actually mention it again, but I will post like under if I post this video, I'll post all your links and stuff like that. And
Okay.
you know, some people will get to you because I think, like I said, I think more people than not need this kind of service, right? They're just going
Yeah,
through and they think they're fine, but you're not fine, right? You don't know for sure until you know.
that's
So
right.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at Patricia Patty Pat, and I have a website, patriciamcpherson.ca, and that's kind of, and use me. This is what I always say to people too. I was facilitating yesterday a teacher's training, and one of the girls was like, I do your meditations every night. I just want you to know you put me to bed every single night. I
Right.
was like, I have a relationship with you. You don't even know. And she's
Mhm.
like, but sometimes, you know, I feel intimidated by you, and I wanna like not by you, but I just feel intimidated. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I want to ask you things, but I don't know if I can. And I understand that too. Teachers kind of get put on a pedestal, like they know so much more than me. I couldn't barely talk to them, like no way. But
Yeah.
to me, I try to bring it back to the same level. We're on the
Yeah.
same level, you know.
Yeah.
When we're equal, we're at peace, you know. And so I just feel that's what I want to say to people listening, or use me. Send me a message,
Yeah.
email me, ask me something. I'll help you.
Yeah, for sure. Contact her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like we talked a lot about meditation and sleep, but the body, the physical body, that was more emotional and psychological. About the physical body, what do you think? Like veganism, vegetarian, or just like flexitarian kind of? What do you kind of like diet do you think is probably best for like a holistic body?
I don't believe in diets. And again, I think there's a lot of information out there that you can learn from, what's good for you, what isn't.
Yeah.
But I believe in moderation,
Yeah.
I don't deprive myself. I'm a pescatarian, so I still eat fish. I still eat a little seafood. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. But at the same time, if I want something, I'm gonna have it.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna do it every day. But
Yeah.
life is short, man. Life is so short. You may not get up tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not promised. So enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Enjoy, and you know within when you're going too far.
Yeah.
So that's on you. Maybe you'll have to, strengthen your discipline. Sure. But when after a while, okay, this isn't feeling good. I should probably stop.
This is too much chocolate cake.
But keep eating the cake, man. Keep eating the cake.
I was at my sister's this weekend, and I eat mainly like a vegetarian, like lots of beans. That's all I seem to know how to cook, salads and stuff.
Beans are good.
Yeah, they are, right? But she made me a pork chop, and oh my God, it was so delicious. Crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, like, this was great. It was nice catching up with you again. And
me too.
I hope everybody reaches out to you and gets the services that you offer. And I'm hoping that you're going to come back on our show and again enlighten everyone about all this yoga and meditation stuff. Is there anything else you have, or?
No, I just want to say thanks. I think this is really good, and I think we need to keep up these conversations and connecting with people, and make the tribe bigger. Make the tribe bigger.
For sure. That's a great message. But thank you for coming on, and hope to see you. Thank you. Okay.
See you soon, Greg.
Okay. Bye, Patricia.
Bye for now, love.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Toasted Soul. Thank you, Patricia Mcpherson, for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us. Please check her out and show her your love. Thank you for listening and supporting Toasted Soul. Visit us at ToastedSoul.com to leave comments or book guest appearances and to get news on Toasted Soul. Please join us again next week. And as always, live with soul.